stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. We'll get started in a minute. Probably about 1 minute. I don't have a shit ton of time, so got to get a meeting going. Starts in about 40 minutes, but I got to do stuff before it. Not much stuff. Doesn't take me but a minute to get it done, but it does need to get done. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody shows up. Another reason why we're talking about what we're talking about today. So this will probably be one. I'm considering letting this go. I come on here often, talk about things that are going on, and I do that so other people know that other people are going through it too, especially men. I do my best to describe things. I try and educate. I'm just not feeling it much anymore. I'm not. Can't seem to, well, I haven't put much effort into it either, but haven't really found anybody to podcast with. Everything kind of lost its luster this week. You know, just feels like the other shoe's going to drop at any moment. So I don't know if the Daily Trudge is going to go away entirely, but I can tell you that I won't be here as often. The topics are going to change. The topics aren't necessarily going to change, but how I share and what I share is going to. You know, it's hard enough for me to come on here and share what might be going on with me, but the unsolicited advice has just gotten to me. Somebody said something earlier, it pissed me the fuck off, man. You know, when somebody's sharing their feelings with you, advice and telling somebody what to do is not the way to go. I'm not here to be abused. I'm not here for you to bounce your shit off of. I don't like the way this world treats me, man. Not sure which direction to go on all of it. You know, people don't even really show up anymore. And I consider times and, you know, well, if you're just helping one person, you know, I'm tired of just helping one person. I'm tired of all the red tape that I need to go through just to help another human being. I'll tell you how I feel. I feel like everybody's dirty little secret. People don't share my stuff. They don't, you know, it's great that you know, tell me to my face, but You got my back when we're out there and people are talking shit? I don't know. Probably. Sure, some of my friends are. There's nobody in particular that's really causing this or anything. It's just a lot of different calamity. You know, I've been doing this for, you know, almost 7.5 years now. I've watched hundreds and hundreds of people come through here, and they all leave, one way or another. You know, I do a lot of service work. You know, I mean, and so I'm probably going to be shutting a lot of things down. I'm probably going to shut down the website, the Podbean, the Restream, which is this. You're watching me on Restream. So, yeah, there's only so much that I can take, and I certainly do like helping other people, but you know, I work with the truth, and it's clear nobody wants to hear it. You know, I'm trying to help with men's mental health, and I'm glad that people are supporting it, but they're inflating the numbers to make some existential crisis that doesn't exist, and I will not be a part of it. I will not be a part of anything that is less than the fucking truth. Because if I don't, then I will destroy this community. I will destroy this whole community. At the moment, I don't give a fuck about nothing. Hey, Chris, good to see you, man. Yeah, I understand, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate you saying that, Chris. Chris says, I hope it won't go away. It's not going to go away entirely. What's going to change is I'm not going to come on here and share my feelings, where I'm at, and how it is that I solve it. I'm not going to do it no more. At the moment, at least for now, it may change soon. But I have to cut off all empathy. My walls are up. I do not have much empathy at the present moment. You know, I can't go around running helping people that just don't want help. Yeah. And I won't give in to the other ways. I'll never be hugely popular. I don't want to be popular. Did you know back when I used to go to school, popular meant that, well, meant you were a slut. That's what popular meant, by the way. So you can be popular all you want. Yeah, the popular girl was the one that kissed all the boys. Promiscuity. Thing is, I know what happened to those girls. And it was probably a nasty daddy or uncle. You know, it just seems like everything I do it alone. You know, I would say probably the only example of my life where that's not really happening is the grassroots meeting. But even today, you know, seems like every AA meeting I go to, I have to host or co-host or chair. You know, I wouldn't mind just being one of the crowd for a little bit. I don't want to be a fucking leader anymore. I've had enough. You know, I knew my toes would get stepped on here and there. I knew that. And I was okay with it for a little bit, but I'm just not okay with it anymore. Maybe I'm just getting old and grumpy. Who knows? You know? And it isn't that I don't get recognition from people. I get recognition too. But what I want is respect. You know, just like I was talking with my wife, it seems like, yeah, and it doesn't really matter what situation it is. It isn't until I get angry. I can ask a million times in a regular voice and be all nice and nicey nice and be kind or whatever, but nothing happens until I'm a dick. And I'm not doing that. Yeah. I I didn't put together for the meeting together for, and I know why it works the way that it works. I know why. Yeah. And it ain't me. It's the format. That that format was inspired. I didn't write it. God wrote it. That's why it works. It's the format. It's the welcoming. I set a standard for that meeting, a very high standard, and we live up to it there. Most people have their cameras on. We get, if there's a bunch of us, we've all shared, and it's the end of the hour, we still make time for that person that hasn't shared yet, and they still get, if the timer was set at 4 minutes, then they're going to get 4 minutes. If you go over a little bit over your time, it's all right. The other day, somebody was in the meeting, and he said, I noticed it was a closed meeting. I wanted to make sure that it was okay that I was here. And I told him, I said a lot of us are dual addicted, and that's okay. So all we ask is that we talk about alcoholism. But if you have a desire to stop drinking, you don't even need to be an alcoholic. You can attend this meeting. You are welcome. And he shared, on his alcoholism. There you go. I had a sponsee tell me he was talking to this guy. He's kind of, you know, he tends to get kicked out of meetings a lot, but I understand why. He's like one of those guys that doesn't keep his mouth shut when he sees something wrong. And well, I understand that. And he got the impression that maybe the guy shouldn't come to the meeting. And he called me himself, and he's like, "Did I do something wrong? I gave the guy the I gave him the link to the meeting." I'm like, "No, you did everything correct. Absolutely, you should. We don't get to determine who. It was a good learning experience. I don't get to determine who goes to that meeting. It's not my meeting. We do not work like that. We have got to be better than that." And so, of course, he's welcome, and you did nothing wrong. In fact, if anything, you did it right. And I hear you, Chris. Chris says, put God first. I'm so fucking mad at that motherfucker right now. I'm having a hard time putting God first because I don't feel like I'm being put first. That'll pass. Doesn't mean I stop praying. I still got to run a meeting in 25 minutes. Unless the chairperson gets there in time, but they said that. Well, it's actually my daughter was going to chair the meeting today, but dentist appointment for the granddaughter. So she didn't know she'd be there in time. If she is, awesome. If not, no biggie, I'll run it. I don't know that I'm going to have the best attitude, but I will run it. I think mostly what's getting to me is the fake. Everything's just, it's like everywhere I go, everything's just fake. It doesn't seem real. A lot of hate, like a lot, and it bothers me. Hate turns me into somebody I don't want to be anymore, and I've worked very hard not to be that person. but it just doesn't feel like other people recognize it. People always tend to think I'm always grumpy or angry or frustrated. And I'll tell you, I usually am because people call me that all the time. So there'll be some decisions made. Not sure that, you know, there will be a difference here. There will be that. I'm just not as willing to come on and be the person that says, "Hey, I go through that too." I'm not doing the Me Too anymore, which means that I won't be able to be the example on here on how you can do it right or how things get done. Nope. You have to start figuring that out for yourself now, or go to the grassroots meeting where I'm at. So what I mostly want to do is I'm just going to sink back into the crowd. Yeah, I'd tell you that, but I'm gonna let you know I don't even believe me right now. I don't believe me. Yeah. See, it's part of my honesty. Just it's part of my honesty. The thing is I know exactly how to make people feel better almost all the time. I can also make somebody feel really, really bad. I'm good at both. I'm well versed in it, and I'm not taking that as a necessarily a good thing. I don't like having a criminal mind. I don't I don't like my mental health or my mental illnesses being my superpower of like I notice everything. I do, especially if you're on camera. I will notice everything. If your mood changes, I'm going to know. Even if your face didn't say it. You're going to put your arm a certain way. You're going to cross your legs. You're going to do something. Your eye may twitch a little bit. Maybe you get a little snarl or something. I'm going to notice that. And it drives me crazy. I'm tired of seeing all the patterns. Tired of a lot of things. Maybe I'm just tired. Not physically, but spiritually. Maybe I'm just spiritually wore out. Right? So it's not going away, going away. Not only that, but I've been doing this 93 weeks straight. I haven't missed a day in 93 weeks, a year and a half. It's pretty fucking good. Want to get that to 100. Let's double check it. Where is it at? We might even be at 94 weeks now. Maybe I could do it for another month and a half every day until I get it together. You know, part of it is I don't. Yeah, we're at 94 weeks. I just don't know. Um, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, I feel like I've beaten every topic to death. Chris says you don't seem grumpy. Yeah. Well, you know how it is, Chris. I'm good at hiding my feelings too. I'm usually depressed. But no, right now I'm so angry. I don't have much to say on it, if that makes sense. People get really scared of me when I'm like this for some reason. I don't know. It's almost like they'd rather I was yelling and screaming and knowing I was angry than sitting there being quiet about it. But I have a fear if I start I have a fear that if I start running my mouth about that, I'm probably going to run off everybody in my life, and I don't want that either. Or I'll take it out on my sweet wife or my children or somebody that doesn't deserve it, and I'm not willing to do that to anybody right now. So I'm doing everything I can to not necessarily stuff it down, but keep things to a minimum. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I should get prepared for the meeting. Happens in 15 minutes. Chris, I'll send you the link. Remember, it happens in 15 minutes. Don't show up in an hour and 15 minutes. Okay? If you can remember, but I'll send it to you on your phone. I'll text you so that if you want to try and make it, you can. And be good to have you there. Maybe you could share. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. Gotta throw some joke in there, right? Hey, see, I'm doing it again. I'm ending it on a joke so everybody doesn't think I'm all. I have this huge fear that people just think I'm mad all the time. All the time. You're mad. You're mad. It's not your tone. It's not this, man. Why can't I just be me? I have a lot of wisdom to impart, and nobody wants it. That's how it feels, right? And feelings are not fact. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. That person being Chris. It was good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out and listening. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And have a day.